Should have done a mic check. Oh, we good.
Check.
No echo, right?
I don't hear anything.
Okay.
No, none on my end.
Oh, Mel better join us. She said my favorites. She hasn't been on in the comments in like 2 years.
Kansas down 10 or no, up 10. Up back to 8.
Let me see.
God, I hate Hunter Dickinson.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Hate that man. He's from here, but I still hate him. He's from the DMV, but we don't claim him.
Okay, let me see where it's coming from. Okay, Twitter's live. Let me make sure this. Man, I'm so glad this is the way this is trending. I was like, man, don't let me do this after a loss, man. Not this one, man. Hold on, let me share this. Okay, there we go. The Mason Gillis game. Hey man, yeah, shout out Brian. Well, we gotta start the show, but you know, Brian's back. Yeah, the real OGs who've been watching. It's crazy. We've been doing this for 5 years, maybe 5 years.
Y'all been doing this for 5?
Yeah,
Wow.
5 years. Like, I think, because we did during COVID, so it had to be maybe 4 or 5 years.
I went to the Internet Archive to see how long I've been doing blogging. Dude, 20 years.
Sheesh.
I know, I'm old as hell.
All right,
I'm about to wrap it up soon.
Don't do that.
The three of you guys, man, thank you for what you guys do, and appreciate you guys having me on.
We were trying not to score and everything. We got about 33s or something.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of felt that. We kind of feed off that energy.
This place is amazing. Like I really love Duke, and I love the atmosphere I'm in here.
Mark Williams, beast mode. Paolo first half, he had the cramping stuff. Fair enough. Beast mode.
Welcome back to the Crazy Cast. This is like episode 3 in 7 days, so y'all can't complain. I don't want to see any more messages, tweets. Where you guys at? Malik Brown is gonna come back before you guys. It's the third one, man. Third one. And if Monday we're not doing one, so forget about that one. But we're back. Got my guy Russ here. Brian is back. If you are an OG fan of the Crazy Cast, Brian has been here before. You already know. So welcome back to my guy Brian. Ryan is he'll be out, I think, for a little bit. He's busy. He has a lot going on. So we'll have if Brian wants to come on, other people come on. We'll welcome them. So we appreciate y'all for always helping and joining the Brian. So thank you for that. Duke wins, survives a dogfight, 63-56 to Wake Forest. We thought after the first half that this was going to be, another sleeper, and wham, 1 for 19 to start the half. The boys get into a dogfight, but they found a way to get a victory. Shout out to Mr. Mason Gillis. Russ, I don't say nothing. All right. All right. But yeah, fellas, how y'all feeling, Russ? Give me your thoughts.
I love this team, man. I feel great. I know that like one run was tough to watch, but like we were due. I mean, like this happens to teams. I think we were settling a little bit, right? But again, that happens. They made some shots that they weren't making in the first half. Again, happens. Obviously, the foul situation was strange at times. I don't really want to gripe too much. I mean, they obviously lost a very key piece for the vast majority of the game themselves. But especially on the interior, it definitely felt like it was only being called one way. And so I felt like in the second half, we were maybe just not trying to take it into the teeth of that again. We were trying to just take some jumpers. We stopped settling, right? John Shire, you got to give credit where it's due, man. I love nothing more. I've talked about it on this show, just flashing some zone, just to throw teams off, right? It's not that Duke needs a zone, but I feel every team needs a zone. Like every single team, just to play it for like 5 possessions, right? Just get a team out of their rhythm, and then right as they start getting used to the zone, bring it right back to the man-to-man. I thought John going to the zone when he did was brilliant. I thought when the I want to say it was the under 4 timeout came, and then they would have had time to prepare for the zone in that timeout. Then he went straight back to man. Wake was clearly caught off guard both times, right? That's such a huge coaching win. That's a massive, massive momentum shifting coaching decision that is tangible on the floor. You can see it. You can see how it results in major, major gains for Duke. Proctor struggled to shoot the ball, missed those layups, but he made the big shot when it counted. He got a bunch of rebounds today. I thought he played really good defense today. Khan, he had a couple of turnovers, but the slander I saw after some of those turnovers in the second half, man, like people forget he had 12 points at the half, maybe 6 rebounds. I mean, he played all in all a rather good game. I thought Cooper, the turnovers, yeah, but also a couple of those turnovers were pretty clearly fouls that just went uncalled. I don't really hold that against him either. It's so beautiful to have a star who you can rely on at the free throw line when the game is down the stretch. Cooper is definitely that guy. How about Big Pat, man? We just talked about on the grading show how excited I was about what he can be going forward as a multi-year big man for Duke. He acquitted himself beautifully for a lot of minutes. When he played 21 minutes today, I mean, he played so well. And again, he was getting a brutal call. I mean, that 5th call was outrageous in particular. But he fought really hard out there. He played well without fouling. And then Mason, as you brought up, Mason, I thought, just did a beautiful job. Made some big shots, had some key rebounds, played with physicality. If there's one thing that it's that Mason Gillis is going to play with physicality. Like, he's not going to be intimidated by any of that. So, I mean, just a really gutty performance when, it's going to be, we're going to hit this sometimes. We're going to hit walls. Teams are going to go on big runs. Maybe not that big a run. But again, this is a place we lost with really good teams the last couple of times we've played there. We've lost with really, really great teams here. I think in 92 we lost at Joel as well. I mean, like, this is a place where Duke struggles to win, even when we have a really good team. So I really, really loved the effort at the end of the second half. And then obviously this is the importance of a first half that goes really well, right? If we don't build a 13-point lead, we're sweating a lot more. So not getting off to a slow start, really getting going by the end of the first half. Really love to see that too. I mean, props to everybody, man. I was really, really pleased.
For sure. Brian, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I was worried. As soon as at the end of the first half, when Salas got that dunk, I was like, something's about to happen. And then, going back to that dunk, it was a 25-6 run, I think it was. And that was just, but even still, I was like, I think I even tweeted, I was like, just chill. We need to be in some dogfights. We need some, some strife to make this team ready for March. And I'm glad we got it. I'm glad we got the win with the strife, but I'm glad the strife, happened. But the way that Shire let them play through it for the most part, I think was good. Yeah, they got a little rattled, but I think they figured it out. They got some plays. And, again, like Russ was saying, that zone really helped out. I think some of that was, to keep us from fouling some, and some was definitely to throw off the rhythm of Wake, and it worked well. And Flagg did his thing, and shout out to him, Gillis, Proctor, all hit shots that were needed, pressure shots that you want to see guys hit in tough games, not just blowouts.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was like I kind of tweeted, and you guys kind of said yourself, we love the blowouts, we love being up and running through teams, but at some point, I didn't think it was going to be tonight, but at some point you wanted them to be tested. Like Shire said at halftime last time, you're not going to be up 20 all the time, or 15 all the time. Games will vary. And at the end of the day, it's just about getting the win. I'm sure, I'm sure I saw the tweets ready to crucify everybody with the 19-1 run. I get it. But I got killed too for saying like it's okay to be in a dogfight. I won't approve the way the dogfight happened, because if it was back and forth the whole game, sure, that's fine, dogfight. But that collapse was still unacceptable. But the fact that they pulled it out really shows how good of a team this team is. The fact you can win a game, you started to have 19-1. I saw the Tyrese. I saw those tweets. This was Tyrese's worst game of the year for sure. We can all agree it was his worst game of the year. But at the end of the day, the difference between this game and NC State is he still hit the big shot when we needed it the most. And I'm gonna give him credit for that. So I think it was a game they needed, and I think it's a game they're gonna learn from. A quick turnaround on Monday and the big game. I'm happy this happened before UNC, because this is a good test for what that game might be next Saturday. But yeah, what are some, I guess, individual performances that stuck out to y'all that you would want to elaborate on, good or bad?
I want to just mention again Proctor's defense. Every time anybody wants to fry Proctor because he misses a shot here or there, I mean, you look at how the guards played. I mean, obviously Salas got a couple of like twos in there and got going, but I mean, he had 0 assists, 4 turnovers. Tyler Johnson did get like some assists going in that second half, obviously, but didn't shoot the ball very well. Proctor only had 1 turnover himself. He wasn't really costing the team, in that respect. I just think you have to keep shooting the ball. Like if you're Tyrese Proctor, I don't know why people are like, if you're not making them, you have to have the wisdom to stop shooting the ball. It's like, no, I don't think that's the case at all. Like, I think you shouldn't settle, but like Tyrese Proctor is out there to take catch and shoot threes and to have the ball in his hands when the shot clock is running down. Like you have to rely on him to do things with the basketball. I think that, a couple of those layups, the physicality, we talked about it on the grading show. The physicality, messed with him on the inside. He missed a couple of easy layups where he clearly was it seemed to me like he was expecting to get hammered and then he didn't. And like anybody who's played pickup knows you can miss layups real quick if you think somebody's going to foul you and then suddenly they don't. Jordan in the chat saying like misses a shot here and there. Bro is 2 for 12. Yeah, look at his numbers for the season though. I mean, like you can't be a victim to small sample size mentality. He's the leader of the team in terms of the guy who's been on the team the longest. Like you have to rely on him in that situation. Otherwise, why are we playing him at all? Like, why bring back players at all? He's there to do exactly what he did. And yeah, as Andrew says in the chat, they're playing football out there, and Tyrese is not the most muscular dude on the team, right? It probably affected him for sure. So, I think as long as he's playing his heart out on the defensive end, he's not turning the ball over needlessly, and he's not shying away from the moment, then he's still giving me exactly what I want for him to do, even when the shots aren't falling.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
No, you got it.
Now I was gonna ask you guys, because I mean, Tyrese has obviously got some slack this game. Isaiah, and not playing Isaiah, got some slack. Cyrus getting slack for Caleb Foster. I thought he was solid in the first half. Maybe he struggled in the second half, but I couldn't single him out in the second half because everybody was bad. But yeah, what I guess my question to y'all is, what could have Shire have done, or in your opinion, what did we need to do better to avoid that 18-1 run, besides hit open shots? Because that's a simple answer. I know that's his immediate response.
Well, that and maybe settle less. There were a couple of shots in there where the ball was not moving really on offense. They were just sort of passing it around the outside, and then I think James shot a 3 that was kind of like, really, we didn't even try to get inside at all. We're just sort of whipped it around a few times and then took threes. Like, it's one thing if the threes come within the flow of the offense where they get inside, kick it back out, or if they run some screens, have somebody open. Like they have that one, I don't know what, if J-Man was here, he'd know what to call it, where they pass it to where like Khan is fading towards so that he can catch it once he gets to that position and then he just shoots it right away. Like things that are clearly plays, right? Like
it was that flare. I think it's a flare screen.
Yeah, so he was just it was stagnant at the beginning of the second half, and then obviously on the defensive end, they got some momentum going and they were picking on us a little bit. I tweeted that Malik Brown makes a difference in this game. I just for as well as Big Pat played, like Malik is a guy who can switch out, and deal with some of those guys who when Reed is sort of parked in the corner. He can still make a huge impact on the defensive end. I think having him would have made a big difference. I don't know. I just think the difference between them going on a plus 19 run and a plus 13 run does come down to a couple of shots, and a plus 13 run, it's going to happen a couple of times per season. It just will. That's just, the nature of the thing. So I don't know, settle a little less going forward, but then we did a good job adjusting and getting away from that.
Yeah. I think the crowd noise and all of that feeds into how fans react to these runs as well. Like we're all like, oh my God, because the crowd's going nuts. But I mean, I think part of the problem is the post. I mean, Malawat's got 0 shots. Sorry, my dog. And Gongba got 2 shots. I mean, that's nothing in the post. We got 2 points, 4 points out of our big men. I would have liked to see them run something, if possible, for one of them. I mean, at least get a slam from Malawat that's been working all season long, getting him, a lob or two.
They tried. I think they tried at least once, and Reed just blew it up. Reed is just so much bigger in terms of strength than Malawat is right now. I mean, like he was pushing Malawat around, and then Pat just I love what Pat's going to bring to our team going forward, but he's not a huge above the rim, just toss the ball up the way that Malawat is. So, I mean, it's tough, but drawing up again, doing something designed within the flow of the offense to get them the ball would have been nice. But it was also their game plan. Clearly, was to just deny on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. I know you mentioned Malik Brown. I don't even see Malik Brown as Malik Brown's 100% a difference maker. I didn't see him as okay, this is why we're missing Malik Brown. I saw it as these team got kind of shook and resorted back to the, I guess, November and December traits that they had in terms of isolation, stagnant, standing around, and one possession just really reminded me of just Kentucky when it was just Cooper, I think, right side, right wing, isolated against, it might have been Efton or another big, just held the ball, gave 5 jab steps and tried driving into a crowd. That just screamed Kentucky. I just thought they got shook a little bit, but to be honest, I mean, I'll say it. I thought Mason Gillis should have been in the game earlier, at least in terms of rotations. In that second half, I thought, we were struggling, and he played such a great first half that there was no reason why he shouldn't have been earlier in the game earlier, in my opinion. But I'm glad we did make that adjustment, and he completed the rest of the game, and you saw the results. But
I just thought with time left, they didn't wait till 3 minutes left in the game to make that adjustment.
Right. But I mean, I'm not gonna say Mason Gillis should have played all 20 minutes because he's not used to that. But I thought we should have made an adjustment like that. But I could also see Shire thinking, okay, this is now the time. We're in a dogfight. Now you got to learn. You guys got to learn. So just be out there, die out there with this run. That's why I kind of see why he didn't call a timeout. He was just like, I'm just gonna let these guys suffer through it and learn. Which I get. It's early. It's still somewhat early, but that's the adjustment, in my opinion, I just would have made early. Get Gillis in there earlier.
I get why he wanted to do that, because he thought that at some point, Wake's going to miss 1 or 2 of these shots. I mean, generally speaking, that's what would happen. And they just would not miss at the beginning of that half. I don't remember I'd be interested in seeing like a quarter by quarter breakdown of what the points per possession were, but like Wake scored 1.06 points per possession in the second half. I guarantee in the first 10 minutes that must have been like 1.3. I mean, it must have been a lot. They just did not miss at all. By the way, I saw somebody in the chat saying like, Isaiah Evans clearly, people talk about his defense, but like, he and Khan are like the same defensively. I couldn't disagree more. Like,
Not at all.
I just could not disagree more. Khan every once in a while is going to have a faster player on him who's going to work their way around. Who like definitely gets burned in those situations is freshman Isaiah Evans. I mean, like, we talked again. I keep bringing up the grading show, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to, you definitely should. But like, his defense has been really tough in games exactly like this one. Physicality is not his bread and butter. Defending, really physical players without fouling them, is not going to be good for him. It's either that or let them pass by. Again, I love Isaiah Evans. He's going to be huge for this team going forward. I think he's going to be great, but he needs to continue to build his strength, and he just needs to continue to get used to playing Division I defense. Khan has the strength and the sturdiness and the awareness of like where to be on the floor. He'll get burned every once in a while, but also he made a lot of like pretty good defensive plays. Again, their guards for 30 of the 40 minutes couldn't do anything, and he was out there almost the whole game. I mean, like, I don't know. I think that's. What was the other game where Caleb and Evans basically didn't play? It was the Pitt game, right? Didn't they like basically not play in that game either?
Was it the Pitt game or Louisville?
I thought it was Pitt because of their propensity to score in ISO. Mm-hmm. Like Caleb and Isaiah right now are just guys who cannot guard in ISO. Like they're just going to get switched out onto and blown apart. Every time. Yeah, Foster and Evans played 9 and 7 minutes against Pitt. Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't think that you can sacrifice the defense that was working so well for the vast majority of the game just in hopes that, like, oh, well, I don't trust Proctor to make threes right now. I'm going to trust Isaiah Evans more. Like, I just don't think that that's the way any coach is going to think. Like, I just don't.
I don't disagree, but I still don't see even the minutes I think Evans gave in the first half. I don't think he was detrimental to the defense. So like I'm not gonna say Isaiah Evans wins us that game earlier, because he hits 3 threes. No, because it still was a physical game, and he hasn't had this, I guess, played in a game with physicality. But I don't think he would be that detrimental to where we're just giving up points. I mean, at the end of the day, even when I remember you tweeted the Malik thing, I was looking at the box score, and at that point, like, Wake Forest was still shooting 38% from the field, and they were still shooting 18% from 3. So it wasn't like even with their second half spurt, they still had a terrible game against Duke.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I meant more along the lines of he's a guy you can rely on to generate a couple of turnovers, to disrupt what they're trying to do, like single-handedly sometimes.
Right.
He's just that guy on defense. And so when the other team is going plus 19 in the span of 6 to 7 minutes, having your best defender on the floor in some respect would have prevented a plus 19 there. We still played a really good defensive game on the whole.
56.
It was just a really bad stretch where I thought in that stretch, having somebody who can just like smack the ball out of somebody's hands would have been really huge.
I mean, it's helpful that Wake just can't shoot threes. Will they be 3 for the entire game?
Yeah.
If that was a team that was a 3-point shooting team in that kind of run, we're screwed.
Yeah. See, here's the comment again. Khan is not the lockdown defender you're preaching is. Nobody's saying that. Why do people blow this stuff out of proportion in the comments, dude? It's unbelievable. It's unreal.
Come on, bro. You've been on this in this community for long enough.
I know, dude. But Evans was a minus 11 today in 4 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's not – I'm not saying that that's because that all 11 points are because of him, but, like, let's be real here for half a second. It's nothing against Isaiah Evans that as a freshman his defense struggles with some, right? Like, But when people are like, why isn't he playing? You have to assume that that's what it is, because his defense is generally this year, with some possessions notwithstanding, it's generally not been a huge net positive. It just is what it is. And Khan has been a net positive on defense all season.
And rebounds.
Yeah. I mean, Khan gave 9 rebounds today. That's crazy.
Isaiah weighs about as much as a can of Coke. He's not going to be able to defend, high-level ACC players to the extent that Khan is, just because he's a big body with length. But he's sturdy. He's a Midwestern guy. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And I mean, Shire preaches the guards crashing the glass too, to the team. So I mean, I could assume that was a factor in his decision, being that the game was physical as it is. You needed to at least secure, even if you're getting stops, you still need to secure the rebound. And having Tyrese grabbed 8 boards today. I didn't even see that.
I know, dude.
That's crazy. But yeah, that goes back to my point. Like, Shire preaches for the guards to crash the glass just as much as he preaches Kaman or Malik to box out. So I think that's definitely a key part of the defense as well. So that's probably factors into why he didn't get playing time tonight.
Or against Pitt. I mean, like, look at the trends on the types of teams that Duke is playing. I mean, when it's a team that has guys who can create in isolation, he hasn't been playing much. And when it's a team where it's more reliant on team defense, Evans plays a lot more in those games. And he's great in those games. He's great in general. I really like him on the team. It's just you got to be honest and not be so reactionary to small sample size stuff. Like, every single player outside of Tyler Johnson for Wake has 10 to 15 pounds on Evans. It just is what it is. And everybody on their team is like, Salas is what, 6'5", 6'6". I bet everybody else was 6'7", 6'8" and up, right? Like they're a big team.
And they've all, aside from Johnson, been in college weight rooms for 3-4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Three of them have, pretty sure 3 of them, maybe 4. 3 of them have beat Duke. So they know they were in that situation last year. But I thought, I don't know what to think of Wake still, because I still think offensively they are trash. Cameron Hildreth, thank God for him tonight. That was a boneheaded game for him. Like, my goodness, you cannot have a worse game as a senior against Duke.
It was, but I kind of thought that's part of why, like, the game ended up being called the way that it did. Because I always feel like when you're watching a game and, like, one of the key guys for a team is basically unplayable due to fouls, and the refs are like, well, all right, well, we can't also foul out Spillers and also foul, you know what I mean? Like, they try to, like, tilt the scale too far the other way when something like this happens. So maybe if Hildreth, isn't playing that much, but, like, he also forces you to call the fouls. He plays a ridiculous style of basketball,
Yeah.
Everybody saw the video of that Khan foul early on where he just like tackled him. I mean, but hey, we don't have to play there ever again. With this particular roster, we'll never face Hunter Salas again at Joel. We'll never face Cam Hildreth again at Joel.
Efton Reed got to be a senior, right?
Yes, he is.
Efton Reed's a senior. Spillers is a senior. He couldn't even get going.
Mark Mitchell Jr.
The only one that's not a senior, I think, is Tyler Johnson, who's a sophomore.
Well, Juke Harris is a freshman too.
Yeah, but he doesn't usually play.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, but I think Duke probably didn't scout him as well as they should have. Not thinking
he's going to be he's going to be one of those annoying dudes going forward, probably.
14 points.
So what if he stays there? Which you never know. But
yeah, that was something we really didn't address tonight. The refs officiating, one of the worst officiating games all year.
TV Teddy has entered the chat
all year, and like I'm kind of glad, but at the same time, even in the tournament, even if it gets like this, I don't even think it would be this bad. I can't say that. I can't. Knock on wood, but like. This felt like an outlier in officiating all year. Like they heavily played into this game. There was no rhythm to start the game. Even I felt like Duke was up 15, 35, 20 early. Like that should have been 20, 25. but there was just no rhythm, no consistency, and obviously playing on the road. I think that got to them as well. But thank God it happened now.
Yeah, and we won. I mean, this was one of the 3 hardest games we had left. We won. Great.
Well, you said 3 hardest games.
That we have. In ACC play we have left. Sorry.
Yeah.
One of the 4 hardest games we have left.
Okay. Well, even in ACC play, I would have said Carolina twice. But yeah, I give it to you.
Yeah, you Carolina and Clemson. I mean, other than those,
Yeah, at Carolina, at Clemson, and then the Illinois game. But UNC needing overtime to beat BC at home right after losing to Stanford at home.
Embarrassing.
Wait, hold on, Russ. I don't mean to
I know
stop
Bruce
you.
Wayne's here.
Hold on, Bruce Wayne, the loudest Carolina fan. We have not seen him all year. Bruce Wayne is in the chat. You've been running all year because you've been watching your team, and you're lucky you got away with a win today because you should have lost that one.
Yeah, almost had that Q5 loss.
Don't go away now, buddy. Notre Dame, you should have lost. Like, oh, we are coming for you next week. I hope you're here next week. Because you don't show up when it's good for us. I'm sorry. I had to address that because this man has been running all year.
They're just lucky Earl Grant doesn't know how, coach.
Oh my God, dude. Unbelievable.
Ball inbounds like 3 straight plays.
That was the most insane ending of that game. That ending was completely bananas. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Oh man, it's gonna be a fun week. But we have another game before that. So
yeah, they have Pitt on the road before they play Duke too.
They play Pitt on the road Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, look, Pitt's not that good, but
hey man, Boston College wasn't that good either.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Stanford's not that good.
Stanford's not that good either.
Yeah,
but that's none of our business. We'll worry about them next Saturday. I guess that's a segue. Quick turnaround Monday. Actually, I'll be very honest. Coming into this weekend, even though NC State stinks, I was more scared for NC State than Wake Forest.
Stop. At Wake, dude?
2-day rest, quick turnaround, the same week as Carolina.
I mean, I hear you, but
trap game is a trap game.
I mean, NC State has the same 2-day rest that we,
They do, but like they have the motive of playing Duke at Duke. We have no motive, and we're playing Carolina on Saturday.
DJ Burns is not walking into that door unless he's going to the concession stand. So
he's not. He's not whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, NC State this year needed overtime to beat FSU at home, beat Notre Dame at home by 1, and then the rest of the season they've lost all the games, including all the ones at home. Like, if they come into Cameron and Duke, farts around, there's no excuse. Yeah, DJ Burns didn't walk through that door. Julius Hodge didn't walk through that door. Whoever the other bums are that had one good CJ Leslie and walking through that door. Like, I don't know, man. Like, dude, don't get me wrong. This doesn't preclude them from getting hot. Like, any team could get hot on any given day. So, it is what it is. But I mean, I think that Ken Pom has State at a 2% chance of winning the game. Like, that's for a reason. They're not good. Kevin Keats with his lifetime contract or whatever. Huge mistake. Classically huge mistake. The perfect State mistake, man. And that's regardless of what happens on Monday. So I don't know. They shouldn't look ahead, but also State is playing State at Cameron is like playing, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is better than State. George Mason's better than State. Wofford is probably about equivalent to State. Probably,
they got 3 players from the Final Four team, man.
Which ones?
O'Connell, right?
Yeah, O'Connell. I think Taylor. They got some guys from that team.
Yeah, but they also got one from Louisville.
Oh yeah.
You know who they don't have are the two guys that mattered.
Yeah, right.
The DJs are gone. Last year a DJ saved their life, and that's not happening
That
this
is
year.
crazy that both of them were named DJ. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they should have pursued more DJs in the portal.
Kevin
man,
Keith's going through the book right now trying to find somebody named DJ.
I don't know. Look, NC State could cover. The spread's going to be like 24 or something. I mean, so if you told me that NC State covers, I guess I wouldn't be surprised for exactly that reason, Zion, because we're going to be looking ahead a little bit. But
yeah. I mean, after this game, the way this game went, I'm sure they're going to be ready for Monday because, I mean, you can't look like that for that stretch and not want to improve. But
yeah.
It was my thoughts coming into the weekend. The funny thing would be to blow out Wake and struggle against NC State.
Yeah, exactly.
I think too that this is something that Duke needs. What happened today is something that Duke needs to prepare for. I saw a bunch of people online saying, "Oh, but we're not going to face whistles like this or whatever." It's like in the tournament, so many times we have seen, a Duke team get punched in the mouth and they don't call the fouls or whatever, and then we're used to the fouls. We're used to a game being called one way, or we're used to trying to out talent a team instead of out muscle a team, and then it doesn't go our way sometimes, right? Tennessee is a great example of that. Obviously, that South Carolina game with Jason Tatum was a great example of that. I mean, we've seen a number of these. So I wouldn't be surprised if in ACC play we're going to see teams go, "Hey, all right, make the refs call 40 fouls, but we're going to whack the hell out of them."
Yeah.
Who's panic? I swear to God, this one guy is driving me crazy in the comments. Nobody's panicking. I said 2% chance. Good Lord, dude.
Oh,
but yeah, people are gonna just foul the shit out of us. they're gonna try to win that way, and dare the refs to call it a lot. So Duke has to be ready to adjust for that, and I think we will be. But it's something they're gonna have to consider going forward.
Hey man, I mean, if they do that in the tournament, I mean, we will have Malik Brown this time around. So
that's true. And Gillis and James.
Exactly. The depth of the team will be a little bit different. So
Sure.
Even Kaman, if he gets an early foul trouble like he did today, that's Malik. And now even we have a third emergency bid.
I know we've got Pat too. He's gonna be so good, man.
That's the silver lining of Malik getting hurt. No one wants to see anybody get hurt, but I mean, it's a silver lining as they were forced to get Pat those minutes, and now he's going to be in that rotation, hopefully going forward.
He played big minutes in a competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
So he got his feet wet tonight. So apparently this is Ken Palm, obviously Russ's favorite site. We dropped to 2, right? Because we were 1.
For sure.
We dropped to 2 defensively. Were we 2 already? I mean,
I think we were like 4-2, 4-3. It was going back and forth. I mean, or I guess it was probably 2 because we're really far ahead of Tennessee at this point on the defensive rating. I'm not surprised we dropped a little below Auburn because we weren't that far ahead of Auburn on the net rating, and now we're just a little bit below. But Auburn also is going to have to play Tennessee tonight, so who knows what's going to happen there? And Broom should theoretically be back, is what they say. So I think you can see in the net ratings there's a pretty clear gulf between 1 and 2, or between 2 and 3, and then. And then from 3 and then the 4-5 pack, there's a pretty big gulf too. So, I mean, you have to be happy with where we are there.
No, for sure. I think we dropped from 3 to 6 in offense. Offense was bad today. It was bad today, man.
Well, you know what the cure for that could be is playing NC State.
Oh man. Well, I think NC State will see. Hopefully it's not a close game because I want to take a break from this show. I love y'all dearly. I love everyone, but it's a lot of work. And we have jobs. We have normal jobs we need to focus on. So I'm praying for a blowout on Monday so we won't have to be here. But 20-0, I see a lot of 20-0 talk. Are we doing? Are we going 20-0? What are your thoughts, Brian? What do you think?
No, don't put that kind of juju out there, man, because that's just a recipe for no.
So you saying we're not though?
We are not.
Okay. Russ, are we going 20-0?
I've been consistent that I don't think so. I think if we only lose one game, that Shire's still going to be ACC Coach of the Year. If we lose 2 games, he's not going to be. But I think he can lose just one at this point. I mean, Ken Pom has us at a 39.2% chance of going undefeated in ACC play.
Did that
really
increase?
high.
That increased after today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were at I think we were around 30, and now we're closer to 40. Obviously, if we can make it through that Clemson road game, then the chances are going to be really high. The chances are going to get substantially higher if we can make it through UNC at home and Clemson at Little John, because then there's really only one ACC game that's hard for the rest of the year. So,
yeah. That Clemson game, if I say we drop one, I just don't want to say we're going to lose to Carolina, but I'm not ruling that out because you just never know with the rivalry games.
I know.
Yeah.
If
years where they suck, they play us really hard. Years where we've sucked, we've played them really hard. I mean, it's just
this is how it works. The team that they can't shoot now, they're hitting 15 threes like Boston College did today. But yeah, I would hope it'd be that Clemson game. But a part of me does kind of hope we do take, whether it's in the ACC tournament or, to Clemson. I hope if we get at least one loss on the record. I don't like the idea of what are we at 13 now? 13 game winning streak. It'll probably be 26 if we go into ACC tournament.
Yes, it's not. It's too much.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The law of averages is waiting around the corner for you.
Although in order to do that, we'd also have to have beaten Illinois neutral court, which would be a really big win too. I mean,
I don't think we're gonna lose to Illinois, man.
No, they've looked real vulnerable the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but they've had injury stuff.
So have we.
They have, but
but dude, don't even compare Visich and KJ to Malik. Come on,
Brown's the best defender in the country, brother.
that shit is not gonna fly, man. Not gonna fly. Yeah,
but I mean, it is also MSG. That is going to be a Duke home game. So I just don't know. I don't see us losing there. But yeah, I do hope someone punches them in the mouth. Just maybe ACC tournament I'm cool with. They can run the table in the regular season. But I think they need just a little bit, of a wake-up call again. But
I'm not coming on your show after that first loss because it's going to be hell.
Oh man, it was going to be hell tonight, but they pulled it out. So one more thing, I guess, before we go, because people have been annoying me. Kayla Foster, can we just address Kayla Foster? Because here y'all go, Kayla Foster. I thought Kayla Foster played a good first half. I said, second half it was a struggle, but it was a struggle for everybody.
Yeah, it's just right now. It's just a question of what is he bringing to the table that he's doing well on a consistent basis. He's got all the potential there. It was, he made a couple of really nice plays in a row in the first half that really got my attention. But he's somebody that just has just struggled to defend consistently well, shoot consistently well, finish at the rim consistently well. I mean, it's just tough. I really, really want the guy to figure it out. It'd be really cool to have him playing the way he did in those big games last year. We could certainly use it, but it may just be a question of role. It's definitely a weird combination of talent right now. James is too good to not play heavy minutes. They're playing Proctor off ball some. He was hurt over the summer or at the end of last year going in. I mean, it might just be a weird situation and he might just need more time,
I think he'll figure it out.
And the shot just needs the form needs some work, I think.
Although I will say this wasn't the best Sion James game. This actually might have been Sion James' worst game as a Duke Blue Devil.
It wasn't a good game for him offensively, although I thought defensively in the first half he played very, very, very well. And then just in the second half, we got hot when he was on the bench.
Yeah. But everyone's due for, rough game.
For sure.
A lot of people had that today. But they got the win. So that's what matters the most. Duke is 9-0, 17-2 overall. 9-0 in the ACC. Still only a 1 game up on the ACC. So, an ACC a loss today would have put them in second place. So, they still got to keep on pulling out these victories. But
second place.
They'd still be in first because they beat Louisville.
No, but they lost to Wake. Wake would have been.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Wake would have been 1.
Yeah. So.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So
tiebreaker.
ACC race a little tight. Wait, who's in second though right now? Clemson.
Clemson and Louisville both only have 1 loss.
But Clemson lost to Louisville, right?
Clemson did lose to Louisville, so Louisville would be ahead of Clemson. I don't know how that would work if all 3 of us had only 1 loss, and then there was a round robin like that. I don't know how those archaic rules work.
It's like head to head with like the 4th team. Like it's weird.
Yeah, there's some weird shit going on there. But I don't think I think the odds that Louisville just wins out are not small. Like their schedule the rest of the season is awful. Like they might not have a single quad 1 game left. In fact, I'm sure they don't have a single quad 1 game left. They might only have like 1 or 2 quad 2 games left. Like their schedule is really, really weak going forward. So
that's their detriment though.
It would be to their detriment from a seeding perspective, because they don't have opportunities to climb the line really, and they have a lot of opportunities to fall. But in terms of something like the ACC regular season, race, it's obviously to their benefit because there's really not more than like maybe they lose 1 more game. Maybe like you could sell me that they might lose 2, but I don't think they're going to lose 2. Like I think they're a 2-loss team at absolute most in ACC play.
Good right now.
So my quick question to that is: if Louisville ends with 1 loss in the ACC and Duke wins it undefeated, they go undefeated. Who's coach of the year? Pat Kelsey or John Shire?
They're not going to give it to They're not going to give it to Shire.
It's probably Pat Kelsey in that situation. I think they have to be. I think they have to be. Yeah, I think that being 2 games ahead of Louisville would do it. I think being only 1 game ahead would not be ideal. Yeah, it's a narrative driven award, and the narrative behind Louisville is unbelievable.
I think you're wrong. Get ready to speak ACC media, buddy, because they ain't gonna give it to Duke.
Yeah,
any reason? You think if Louisville loses 3 games and Duke goes undefeated in ACC
it's
play,
still the most wondrous turnaround that they've ever had. They're going to give it to Kelsey.
That would be sick. That would be sick, man.
I don't think in that situation that's the case.
Ask Luke Kennard about the ACC media.
I hear what you're saying. You're obviously more seasoned on that than I am, but the last team to go it's a narrative. It's a narrative thing. And if you can say that this Duke team is the first team to go undefeated in the ACC in a quarter century, I think that's also a pretty cool narrative that they can hang their hat on.
I agree, but Duke's supposed to go undefeated.
No, I don't. I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
That was somewhat of like before even like we started ACC play. People were like, Duke can go 20 years ago. It was a little bit of like a narrative in that way, but
by the hot take machine maybe, but any all the analytics suggested otherwise, and anybody with a working brain suggested otherwise. Like,
but ACC media, we'll see. I hope so, because if he doesn't win it this year, I don't think he's ever going to win it, to be honest, at that point, because
He didn't win in his first season, going 27-9 and winning they win the ACC tournament the first year.
Who won? Yeah, the one the ACC tournament. Who won Coach of the Year? His first year. It wasn't Hubert. Was it Hubert? No, I can't.
No, it wouldn't have been Hubert in 23. Could it have been Forbes? Maybe
it might have been Forbes.
Or was it Larinaga because they won the ACC that year?
Let's see, I don't remember.
It was Capel actually.
The legend.
Forbes was 22. Yeah, Capel was 23. But I mean, also Pitt clearly had such a worse roster than Duke, and they finished with the same ACC record as Duke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't have any problem with that. And then last year it was Hubert. But again, they were 2 games ahead of the next closest team. You know, like.
Yeah, Jared not winning Rookie of the Year last year, crazy.
Yeah.
Who won it again? Oh, Burton, right? Was it Burton? See, I'm blanking. I don't even know anymore.
It could have been Burton. That would have made sense.
Or was it Bud? What's his face from
Bud Carrington? See, man, I don't even remember last year because last year was such a high up and down season. Yeah, I erased that from my memory. You know, I still love Jeremy Kane, but that was not one of my favorite Duke teams, transparently. But
it was Burton.
Oh, it was Burton. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, when will we be back? UNC post game? Maybe we'll do something before UNC. I don't know. We got busy schedules, and like I said, we just gave y'all 3 and 7 days. So let us.
I don't think we'll be back before UNC.
Look at this guy. This guy. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, probably not, but we will definitely be there after UNC next week. Fun week ahead. NC State, UNC. Hopefully we go 2-0. Where are the recordings? The recordings are on YouTube, Kyle. You could either go to YouTube, the Field of 68 Network. That is network because there are two Field of 68 YouTubes. You can go to Apple, Spotify, if you want to listen to the audio and download that. We need to run our audio back up. So, y'all start listening to the audio too, just listen to this back, but yeah.
Also just Google Crazy Cast. It's literally like the first several links that come up when you Google Crazy Cast.
Google Crazy Cast. Also, if you're on YouTube, please like the page. So if you're right now on YouTube, we got over 139 just on YouTube. Just like it. Like the YouTube for us. Please. That actually does matter. So like the YouTube for us. If you want to comment. I was in the comments of the mid-season grades. I know y'all try. I listen. This is funny, Russ, because I told them not to come for me, and they still came for me about giving Caleb a grade that was too high. So, I will still win in the end, but it's okay. It's okay. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Kyle, just DM me if you have any more questions. But yeah, appreciate y'all. We'll be back next